and gentlemen. Thank you for attending day 3 and welcome to the grand finale of the Sunburst GIS celebration. It is my pleasure to bring this event series to a close, and I believe that each person who has attended either all of the seminars or one of them has been positively impacted with some knowledge. To start off today, our theme for the event is making a difference in the community through the advancement of GIS. And we'll be having two distinguished individuals who will let us in on their journey and their perspective in line with the theme. As we have more people join us, a few house rules. Kindly turn off your mic if you're not speaking. Please make use of the chat box to communicate. You see it at the bottom of your screen and interact with other panelists or attendees. If you need to communicate with everybody, use the panelists and attendees to respond to everybody. If you need to ask questions as well, use the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen to jot questions for either the panelists or if you have questions in general about the session. Use the raise hand icon if you absolutely need to speak or contribute after any of the sessions. We'll try our best to wrap up in an hour, plus or minus a few minutes, given the way the question and answer goes. So to dive in, the agenda for today, it includes having speeches and presentations from our distinguished speakers, a short Q&A session for each of them after they've spoken. And after that, we'll be launching the Sunburst Newsletter. So just make sure you stay engaged with us till then so you don't miss out on any of the juicy stuff. So without further delay, I'll dive in to introduce our first speaker. So our first speaker for today is Dr. Tubolayefa Warikurumo. Dr. Tubolayefa Warikurumo is a geoinformation technology and policy development professional that focuses on aiding the integration and the use of geospatial data and architectures to support government at the regional level, that is under the UNGGIM for Africa, at the federal, state, and local level, as well as its applications to harness public health and environmental management. Currently, Dr. Tubolayefa is the Federal Capital Territory Chair of the Geoinformation Society of Nigeria, where she leads a vibrant set of professionals from different sectors, from different geoinformation disciplines, with the goal of fostering collaboration, encouraging innovation and knowledge sharing, as well as inspiring the next generation of geospatial experts so that no one is left behind. She holds a PhD in Geography, Environment and Disaster Management, with a specialization in information systems and environmental informatics. She has over 7 years combined experience of teaching, supporting, and applying GIS solutions across Africa and the United Kingdom, both in academia and in public service. So to not delay any further, Dr. Tubolayefa, you have the stage. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, or afternoon, everyone, depending on the side of the equator that you're on, because it's afternoon over here, and I know some people are just 11 o'clock GMT. So, my name is Dr. Tubolayefa. Sorry for the bit of glitches that we've been having. Good morning or good day to all of the other panelists and all of the participants, and the moderator Esther. Sorry about the little hiccup initially. Yeah. Okay. I'll talk about my personal experiences and then experiences at the Information Society of Nigeria. First off, the theme, it's quite important at this time because we know that a lot of challenges going on in the global space that GIS can solve. So it'll be nice to see more people get into using GIS to solve societal problems, really. So for us, other than trying to, foster innovation and knowledge sharing, we try to do some projects that are case-based on the things that are going on. For example, during the, can we say during the COVID-19 pandemic or in the past COVID-19 pandemic, because it's not over yet. So we're still in the COVID-19 era. So we saw how we were able to use geospatial information and GIS to help with the management of the pandemic and its mitigation, so to say, because we're able to map out areas of high probability, and then also see the level of spread and the access to health facilities like hospitals, pharmacies, access to test centers, access to treatment centers, and all of that, and also help governments in the siting of molecular laboratories. Because, for example, in the South, I was supposed to be showing you something on the screen, so but maybe before the end of the session I'll put that up. Yeah, uh because something else came up and I'm actually doing this in transit, so I apologize. Anyways, um you know for example, in Nigeria, I'll use the Nigerian case. In the South, we only had the molecular laboratory in Irua. And when we started mapping the cases, we, like the Office of Survey General of the Federation, worked with the NCDC to do that. They were able to see that that one laboratory will not be enough to cater for Delta, Edo, Bayelsa, Rivers, Imo, Abia, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, all of those other states. So more laboratories were created, two in Rivers, a mobile lab in Asaba in Delta State, one in Calabar, so just so that um, samples can get to test centers early and results can be given back early, and yeah. So, and before that, before the extra laboratories were created, it took like 5 to 7 day time for people to get back their results. And that time of not knowing, it heightened the spread, so to say. Right. So apart from COVID-19, there's also the issue of flooding. And I was invited to uh, Ijo flooding group. So what's it called now? Anti-flooding, Ijo anti-flooding group the other time. It was last week. We had a meeting over Zoom, and we had a couple of people from different spheres of life. And one of the reasons why I was invited in there is the work that we're doing is not resonating east, because this flood issue, there's been a lot of passionate or impassionate appeals and for us in the Niger Delta, it is almost like every year our people get displaced, they become destitute, they become IDPs, and they have to leave their homes, they have to leave their communities and go to like a temporary arrangement, and then governments are sending palliatives. They share palliatives like rice, bags of rice, biscuits. They buy mattresses every year to accommodate these people. So now I got invited, and the message I had to pass to them was, we have to start looking at the facts and not just oh yeah, it's because they're drilling petroleum in the Niger Delta, that's the reason why we're having flooding. How can we plan better with GIS and the geospatial knowledge and science that we have? So we're in the process of setting up or I am in the process of setting up a GI team, to assess the flood based on the facts that we have, so that we can be able to plan and mitigate better. So these are some of the ways we can impact our community, or we are impacting our communities, and can also do better with geospatial technology, because this knowledge that we have and the experiences that we have is not for us to keep to ourselves. Is to find a way to better our people in terms of crop management, and okay, what kind of crop are they supposed to be planting, what kind of what's the reservoir of the water like in this particular land. So It's not just to come and say, oh, because Cameroon opened their dam, so that's why Nigeria is flooded. So we need to be talking from a fact-based perspective, you know. So even in terms of like, I've given 2 examples of a part of, and even right now, we just finished the JOSIN conference, and one of my colleagues, Dr. Jagar, presented a paper on. I'll still go back to COVID-19 because it's not over, right? He presented a paper, and they did a lot of forecasting. They did a lot of analysis to see the different trends and the different factors that are either helping to slow down the spread or increase the spread. So things like that are the ways that I believe, you know, we can use our knowledge to advance our communities. So, you know, GI, you can use it to plan, you can use it to manage, you can use it to maintain. So I think I've cited COVID, I've cited flood, I've cited for agriculture and planting, right? So I think I'll give the floor to Dr.
Okay, I think before he speaks, there are a few questions coming in. And thank you very much, Thank you very much, Dr. Tubolayefa. I specifically like
There's a question
when you mentioned.
already.
Yes, there's a
Is
question
it is this
already.
question? Okay. How can youth contribute to geospatial development when we are not much enlightened about this field? Okay. First of all, uh, in terms of enlightenment, there are a lot of resources out there. One, there are a lot of organizations that you can align with out there. If you were in Nigeria, I would advise you to align with the Geospatial Geoinformation Society of Nigeria. If you're not in Nigeria, you can find the Geospatial Society around your vicinity that you can align with. The reason why I'm talking about my society so much is because one of our goals is to, you know, bridge that divide, right, of young people that are to draw information. We have like a lot of programs for training, educational programs for knowledge sharing, you know, and then we share a lot of resources and links where people, because for example, during this pandemic, Esri did a couple of trainings where they had people, they had people they had people do some trainings, and then they were given certificates of attendance. So they a lot of hands-on there are a lot of hands-on trainings. There are a lot of hands-on trainings that Esri did. There are a lot of hands-on training that this University of, mind my pronunciation, is it Kakata now something, right? They did as well. And there are a lot of open source resources. And then Africa Geoportal also. I don't know if you were following the program. I think on Wednesday they did something on Africa Geoportal, and I know Geoinformation Society of Nigeria (FCT) that I chair. We hosted something on Africa Geoportal as well. So um, they have like a training and mentorship platform. It is something that I would love to do in FCT, but what most of what we're doing now is offline. We mentor the young people. We try to help them as much as we can. So even if you're not in Nigeria and you have specific questions, we can also link you up with people that can help you in your field, and then give you resources that can help you as well. There's another question that says, there is a Geospatial Society in Nigeria, can you join? Oh yes, of course. I'm going to be dropping the link of for membership to join the Geoinformation Society of Nigeria. I'll drop it in the comment section, so you can just fill the form and then become a member. Just indicate the state you're situated at, and we'll reach back to you. If you're in FCT, you're going to be under me. Then if you're in Lagos, there are other people that are leading different branches, but then we have the general national body.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tuba. Just before you go, there's a question in the chat that says, How much role is GIS playing in the fight against oil spillage in the Niger Delta? That's the Ogoni case in focus. I don't know if you have something to say about that.
How much role GIS is playing in the fight against oil spillage in Niger Delta? Okay, now, yes, now, as an academic community, right? As an academic community, right? We do a lot of research. We publish a lot of facts to help the government. One thing you should know is that the technology is there, the human capacity to use the technology to analyze the problems that we're having currently in the Niger Delta. I'm a Niger Delta and I'm a Jaw, first of all. So, you know, I'm a Jaw from the Niger Delta. So there's a flow station in my community. There are oil wells in my community. So I have suffered firsthand what the pollution is. Though I'm not from Ogoni, but our stories and our experiences are similar, right? So we have the knowledge. We keep sharing this with the people of authority, and it's left for them to engage with the knowledge and the truth that we keep sharing to them, so that they can be able to implement them. For example, the Ogoni cleanup, most of it is just face value. We have said that repeatedly. The Niger Delta Congress, NDC, has said that repeatedly, that most of the things are of face value. They know the right thing to do. They know how GIS can help. We can be able to, for example, even before they start citing all of these oil wells and doing the drillings, right? There are analysis that GIS can do to map out the areas where the environment is robust enough to carry the oil exploration, because we know that it is impossible to drill oil in a way that it will not affect the environment 100%. It is impossible. Science has not grown to the point where we can have fracking measures that would not affect the environment at all. What science has been able to do now is to provide ways that you can do it and not affect the environment so much, which is what we keep advocating to them, which is what we keep telling them. Even with the organic cleanup, they do a lot of things. We know in this country, they do a lot of things just to get the press. They do it like propaganda, but nothing is being done. That is the basic fact. Nothing is being done, but we keep pushing. For example, with the Ijo flood monitoring group I was telling you about, we've been talking and talking and talking, and now they've given us the privilege to say, okay, now you've been telling us that we're not doing it the right way. Come and help us do it the right way. So until the federal government, until the governors of the Niger Delta and the House of Rep members and the senators of the Niger Delta sit down to say, yes, we are tired of the status quo, now come and help us, we will only be talking, we will only be sharing the knowledge that we have. Geospatial information or geospatial technology will not be able to have the kind of effect that you want to see, you know, because these techniques, this technology, it will not work on its own. It needs the people and to apply the technology and then marry it with the processes that are currently existing for it to have any value.
Thank you so much for that insight, Dr. Tubola. Before I take the next question, there's something that has come to us quite often. So it says that so some individuals are naturally hostile against technological advancements. So how do we utilize these associations that we have in our community to convince such people that technological advancements are the way to go?
Okay. Change management is a major challenge, not just in Nigeria but globally, right? So, and for people to accept that, okay, you're bringing technology to come and find a solution, it's a bit hard because some people profit from the problem. One, we need to understand that some people are comfortable with the status quo. If things get better, they lose money, they lose their sources of income, they lose their, for example, let's use flood to give you an example now. Somebody is in charge of buying the mattresses every year. They don't reuse the mattresses. Somebody's in charge of buying the bags of rice. Somebody is in charge of moving people to hotels or primary schools or whatever. right? So that is an annual source of income for them. So if you are coming to provide a better way for them to look at the groundwater level, to look at the water reservoirs, to plan and mitigate this flood to the best of their ability, they don't want to hear it because you are taking away their sources of income, right? So it's not an easy feat. And anybody that is going into technology and is not anticipating that is not telling themselves the truth. So you need to anticipate the resistance that will come from even your people, because I'm a Niger Deltan, for example. You need to anticipate the resistance that will come from your people, and then find a way to get a common ground. I didn't used to care so much about the politics of these things initially, but over time, I've learned that in whatever you do, you need to try to, play a bit of politics. I'm not saying the corrupt kind of politics, but, listen to their grievances and try to find a middle ground somehow, where you can convince them that whatever you're trying to do benefits them in the long run. I'll give you another example. There's a Benicide flow station where there's no light. They have a contract to generate electricity using diesel generators every day of the year, right? And then in that same place, gas is being flared every day. So you're convincing them that instead of flaring the gas, why don't you convert the gas that is being flared to electricity in a gas turbine, and then you stop doing this diesel generator and polluting your environment. But people that get the contract to pay for the diesel, they're not having it because they feel like you're taking food off their table. But then we're communicating with them and letting them know, okay, this doesn't take food off your table 100% because there's also maintenance of the turbine. There's also surveillance of the turbine. So those are other opportunities. So I don't know if you're talking to government, because I've come to learn that the way you talk to academics, the way you talk to activists, and the way you talk to government people are different. So you need to understand the different languages and how to appeal to, if it's with government people or trying to get them to accept your technology, you need to find a way to massage their ego. I don't like it most of the time, but that is something that has proven to work in Europe, in America, and even in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tudor. So just to reiterate the point you raised, so find a way to communicate to them in their language, pretty much.
Yes, in the language that they can understand. Yeah.
Thank you. Then I think there's someone from the audience, the gentleman who asked the question about the Ogoni case in the Niger Delta. Okay. I think you might want to have a follow-up question. So that's Chima Uzon Uko. So okay. If you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please. Chima Uzon, are you there? Okay. Chima Uzon, your mic is still mute. You can unmute yourself to ask your question.
Okay, yeah. All right, I can.
All right, thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right. Good afternoon from here. I'm calling from Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm quite very versed with what the doctor just mentioned. But one thing that I need to really bring to bear here is the penetration of GIS information in Nigeria. I got to know about GIS. Of course, these are something, when you have new technology in the world, there is the way that this wave, blows it across the entire continents and people get to know it. But when I really got to know the power and what GIS can do was from a colleague of mine. We work in the same office, and he actually whetted my interest to begin to, dig deep about GIS. Now, on the first day of this webinar, the doctor that first introduces, what would I say, conversation, mentioned something about the way you can sell GIS to people. He said you have to solve a problem and then you present the solution of that problem to the people who are involved, maybe government or private organizations, before they can actually see the need to adopt GIS technology. There are two things I want to mention here. Thankfully, that the doctor that just finished a conversation mentioned that there is a GIS organization in Nigeria or association in Nigeria. I didn't know that. So since we have such a shallow knowledge base of GIS in Nigeria, there are two things I would rather want us to, kind of a proposition, a solution that we can present to government that will now begin to show them how important GIS is if they can adopt it. First is in the area of gas flaring, which you mentioned. There is a regulation in Nigeria that mandated all oil companies to stop flaring by 2008. And the punishment or the consequence of failing to achieve that timeline or deadline was that the government placed a fine, a penalty on the companies. I can tell you that the penalties placed for, not abiding by the regulation, government regulation, is very, very minimal. So companies will now weigh the options of paying the penalty or try to stop gas flaring. Now, the only way that you can make government begin to think is this. Can you give us a map, a GIS map that shows the effect of gas flaring within the Niger Delta environment and beyond? Because definitely other people outside of Niger Delta, no matter how minimal the effect is, there is still something to show that gas flaring has not been good for Nigeria, and it will not be good for Nigeria. So that's one way. Can you just give maybe something like a heat map or whatever it is to show that, look, the effect of gas flaring on the livelihood of people within the Niger Delta and outside of the Niger Delta, probably people living on the fringes of Niger Delta, is detrimental to Nigerian citizens. Maybe that will, help them to think, especially in the heels of the NSAS. The government is trying to show that they care for the people. Then secondly, it's on the issue of solid minerals. I don't know if maybe there's some politics that is involved or whatever. In the northern part of Nigeria, we have several minerals there. And previously, it's just recently that, those things began to come to limelight. That, okay, this is what states can do, like states like Zamfara, Nasarawa State and all of that. There is a huge deposit, like we know, of solid minerals there. But certain persons are taking advantage, maybe because government is playing some kind of tacit approval of those individuals to tap it. Maybe some of those, their cronies, are the people benefiting. Is there a way we can also have a map to show that there are some illegal minings in the north and the corollary degradation, land degradation that follows that activity? Can these things be placed before government so that they can begin to see the role? And then in that same way, within that same path, people will get to know about GIS and begin to use it for the good of Nigeria and then other African countries as well.
That's a very, very good contribution, Charles.
Yes, and very elaborate.
It's a very, very good one. I'm sure it's something that associations and other communities, aside the Geoinformation Society of Nigeria, there are other smaller bucket associations and communities. I know there's the Nigeria Cartographers Association as well. So I'm sure it's something that a lot of these communities will be able to look into. Even the surveying association, it's Nigerian Institute
of Surveyors, yes.
Exactly. So there's a couple of, even in Ghana, there's the Ghana Geographers Association, which is where our next doctor is going to be speaking from. So thank you so much for that contribution. I'm sure a lot of people who are in attendance, will be able to pick up on those and apply it in their field as well. Thank you so much again. And Dr. Tubola, thank you so much for joining us again today. I hope you'll be able to stay until the end and while we hear the
Yes, I am. You're
All
not
right,
showing
thank you so
videos, so I'm safe.
much. Thank you so much. So on that note, I'd like to introduce our second speaker. His name is Dr. Ishmael Yordatson. He's a senior lecturer from the Department of Geography Education, the University of Education, Uniba, Ghana. He's the Vice Dean, the Faculty of Social Sciences Education, University of Education in Uniba, Ghana. He's the President of the Ghana Geographers Association. His areas of specialization include physical and development geography. And he's more focused in geomorphology, climatology, environmental geography. Thank you so much, Dr. Datson, for joining us. We're very excited and pleased to have you today. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Dr. Datson.
All right. I am speaking on the topic that's making a difference in the community through the advancement of GIS. And I will do it from the perspective of the geographer, in then the use of GIS in general terms, but mostly relating to community development. My presentation is on the geographer's perspective, geography and community development, GIS, the centerpiece of geographical studies, then the application of GIS in community development and how it is making the difference. Then I will conclude. The geographer's perspective, every discipline has its own subject matter. So if you are a historian, you deal with time past. A political scientist will talk about how to make decisions in the nation to make life comfortable for people. But what do geographers do? Somebody said that geography is what geographers do. Geography is a special science. When we say it's a special science, it focuses on where things are, and then why things occur where they are. And these relate to location, place, spatial patterns, and then what is called spatial interaction. So basically, geography studies spatial differentiation in natural and cultural features of the earth. And when you enter into a community, whatever is there is either man-made or made by nature. So we talked about geography and the community development. We can say that geography is the bedrock to community development. Community here means a group of people who live in an area and share common characteristics, be it culture, infrastructure, social services, and it can also occur at various scales. So we can have a school community, a business community. We can also have urban community. So it can occur at every level. And geography uses the tool of GIS. GIS has now become central to geographical studies, though it is also used by the other professionals in the various disciplines. But it has become an integral part of geographical studies. And it has become a new and an efficient tool in dealing with geographical issues. So geographers can do more in improving the lives of the people in the community. And this can be done in various ways. GIS has actually transformed, and now we have more or less what we call the new frontiers. So we have the use of sophisticated tools and equipment in dealing with or gathering geographical data, managing the data, and then analyzing the data. For example, now we can use drones, which help to gather high resolution images at various levels. We have remote sensor equipment that helps to gather information. And we can even model the information. GIS gives new and better insights into geographic analysis. Now, there's the development of mobile applications which may be used in dealing with various aspects that affect people in the community. For example, we can use GIS in disease reporting. When it comes to the safety and security of the people in the community, we can use mobile apps, we can use drones, even we have what we call data fusion. And we also have what is called an information which is gathered with the people. You can even talk about what we call street view. So you can use Google Earth to gather information about the various aspects in the community. Then we have what is called the new engagement with the community, trying to promote community development. We have what is called participatory mapping. You map an area, but you involve the people. When you want to do community risk analysis, GIS can help you do it. In the community, whether at the international level or at the national level, when there is a boundary dispute, GIS will be there to help resolve the boundary dispute, whether it is between two countries or between two regions in a state or two districts, or it can be between two ethnic groups. GIS can help resolve that issue. Then we have advances in GIS, and this is where geographers make the difference in the community. We have what is called geo-visualization and visual interpretation of data in the community. The use of maps becomes very integral in solving the problems in the community. And I've already mentioned health and disease surveillance. In terms of agriculture. GIS can help to determine where to cultivate, when to cultivate, and then how to cultivate. Transport and communication in the community. GIS can help in terms of what we call reconnaissance survey in the construction of roads, the erection of communication masts. All these GIS plays very important role in the community. Natural resource management. Resources in the community. My friend in Nigeria spoke about oil exploration, which is very, very true. In terms of other resources like gold, diamonds, their exploitation, the distribution and management, GIS is there. In fact, it can be applied to make life more easier. When it comes to the environmental effects of human activities, we have what is called environmental impact assessment. You cannot do this efficiently without applying GIS. It helps you to know the extent of damage. The geostatistical models can also help you even predict. So it is very, very important. And that is why practitioners from various disciplines have now come to realize the importance of GIS. So various disciplines now use maps and adopt GIS as a tool to communicate on varied issues, and especially critical issues in areas in the community. What GIS makes more important in terms of the differences it makes in the community is more glaring when it comes to the outcomes. You apply GIS, but the outcome makes the difference. In the first place, it helps increases efficiency. When you apply GIS in helping develop the community, it increases the efficiency of the personnel. It also helps save time. In fact, you can be in your room and do a lot of things about a community in different locations. There's also the economic aspect of GIS. It helps generate revenue and saves money. When it comes to supporting decision making, GIS is there to assist. And one other importance and the difference it makes is that when you apply GIS in solving societal problems, it improves accuracy. In fact, the error level is highly minimized, and it helps manage societal resources. If the society want to automate their task, GIS can easily help do that. And above all, it helps easy accomplishment of tasks. And I will conclude by saying that the use of GIS applications have helped us to actually perform tasks efficiently and easily, especially the tasks which previously were very impractical and impossible to be performed easily. But with the application of GIS, it has become more efficient and easily accomplished to achieve good results. And the ultimate aim of community development is to improve the quality of lives of the people. And GIS is there to help accomplish and achieve such a task. Thanks so much. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Datsun. I think everybody here would really appreciate how you've broken down the different areas of application of GIS. I'll say thank you for that. There are a few questions that came up during your presentation. So just the Zaid Bright, he's asking that would you be able to shed more light on how GIS can be used to stop or prevent the spread of infectious diseases?
How can you to stop the spread of diseases?
Yes.
Right? Yes. Let's take COVID, for instance. GIS can help develop apps, and it has actually been developed. It helps to map out the areas that cases have been reported. And one thing it helps do is that it can help provide what we call density maps. So the maps will indicate which areas have high level of cases and the areas that are less vulnerable, the extent of spread, and then it can also help even model to actually predict what is likely to happen based on the current results. So if you look at countries, sometimes they provide maps and indicate what is called the hotspots of the diseases. So GIS actually helps do that.
Thank you so much. Then similar, riding on that same trend, somebody is asking if GIS can be used to monitor changes over time.
Changes over time, yes.
Time.
Yeah, it is through modeling. Through modeling. You do what is called trend analysis. What has been the rate of occurrence? What has been the causes? And then how is it moving? The use of maps, you gather data, and then you manage the data to come out with models. And it will give you a trend of what is actually happening and what is likely to happen. In fact, it can even help you come out with what is called linear regression of whatever is there. So it gives you a trend of what has actually happened and what is likely to happen. So we use geostatistical models to do that.
All right, thank you, Dr. Datsun. So I would like to ask, as someone in the academia field and I'm currently in university, how do you say, if you have a community that is dominated by fellows who don't understand the technology or don't want to understand technology, how do you go about preaching the use or the application of this technology to them so that they can accept it and utilize it for their own life?
If I got you well, you said a community. Please come again.
Yeah, so a community of fellows who are illiterate to the technology, they don't understand it, they don't know it, they don't know about it.
Oh, okay.
How do you go about
yes, using GIS in the community, which is not all that enlightening in the tools, right? The use of GIS.
Yeah.
Yes. It's all about one appealing to their conscience through education, and then you try to persuade and make them appreciate what GIS can do and the benefits that there is for them before you try to actually make them try their hands on the tools. But you have to first educate them to understand and appreciate what it can do for them to improve their lives. And once they see evidence, it will easily make them convinced and then help adopt and use the tools for their betterment.
All right, thank you very much. Then someone is asking, while you were speaking about using GIS to monitor changes, someone was asking what's the name of the geostatistical model that you mentioned?
The geostatistical models, it is simply when you have used GIS to gather information on a phenomenon, then you try to manipulate the data based on the evidence, and that will give a visual interpretation of the phenomena that you are dealing with. But one major thing that geostatistical models do is to help give a trend, and then based on the trend, you can predict what is actually going to happen based on the current parameters.
Okay, thank you. I hope that answered your question, Pascal. Then our final question for you, Doctor, if nobody asks anything else. So technical advancements in GIS requires users that have really high expertise because we have technology changing almost every day or every other day, right? So someone was asking that what is the best way to ensure that our community can keep up with this constant improvement? So both from your association as the president of the Ghana Geographical Association and also with your influence in universities, how do we ensure that both our students and the experts can keep up with the constant changes in the technology?
Yes, now what is happening is that there are specific courses and programs in GIS, especially at the university level. Then, for example, Ghana Geographers Association, at our annual conferences, we specifically allocate times for GIS training as part of the conference. Sometimes to this year, for instance, because of the COVID, we couldn't organize the conference, but we organized a GIS course and programs for our members. So there are opportunities and avenues out there where people can have the opportunity to train in GIS. But the challenge is that these are mostly in the formal educational system. And it seems we are actually neglecting part of the society. That is what we have to address. But there are opportunities for people to upgrade themselves in terms of seminars and conferences and the formal educational system. And then you can also even have manuals when you go online, there are manuals that you can actually read to update your knowledge. Right.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Gatson, for joining us today. We're really excited that you could make it. I'm sure that all our attendees would have gotten something from you. One of a final thing someone was asking, not particularly a question, someone was asking if there's
Okay.
a presentation document based on what you spoke about. If you have that, and we'll be reaching out to you to share it with us so you can share with the attendees as well.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Then, so we can continue to the next bit of our
thank you for the opportunity. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. So we've spent 1 hour. Let's see how we can wrap up the next bit in a couple of minutes. So like we had mentioned earlier in the program, we said we'll be launching the Sunburst Newsletter. So I'll be inviting my colleague, Precious Anya Kona, to do a brief presentation and officially launch our Sunburst Newsletter. Thank you. Precious, please.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, Precious. Thank you.
All right. So I will be sharing my screen. So I want to take, I'm excited about this. Okay. So I'm excited and about this. Finally, we're launching our maiden edition of Sunburst Newsletter. I want to briefly introduce you to some of the highlights, some of the things you expect to see in this first edition. Okay, so first we have featured some of the newest advancements in geospatial infrastructures. We have solutions from different industries. These are some of the things you expect to read. We also try to sort the gap that we have between our clients and the organizations that leverage the technology. And so when so bringing out this newsletter is going to have, when you read through, so you get to know what is happening and everybody's on the same page, you know what's happening, what's trending in the industry. We also hope to achieve to be the mouthpiece for geospatial communication in the region that we operate. So that's one of the motivations of we having a newsletter in our region. We also try to educate. We also want to educate the public on our geospatial solutions and the technologies as well. Okay, so here is the content. So you would expect to read the interviews from clients from different countries, from different places. We also have an introduction of our partners, so you get to know our global alliances. It also helps us to know, in fact, it's a matter of knowing mostly about Sunburst Geospatial and knowing a lot of things that we do. We also have our product focus and then articles from different people. We have solutions from users and solutions from institutions. The idea is to share people's experiences so that others can read and learn and learn and get to duplicate what they see in other industries. We have our interview sessions where we interviewed our MD, the Managing Director of Sunburst Geospatial, and hearing from the boss herself, so you get to know, I'm sure a lot of your questions will be answered by the time you go through her interviews. We also have some of our clients from Ghana and from Nigeria. So we interviewed Voltic Ghana. We also interviewed Nigerian National Bureau of Statistics. So here are our partners. We have Esri, Trimble, L3 Harris, Wentra. So when you read through the newsletter, you get to know these partners better. We also featured our products. We have a product focus. We featured our products. Read more about ArcGIS Pro. You read more about Trimble Geo 7X. You read more about Envy and Wentra 1. These are products that we offer. We also have a map gallery on the newsletter. We have a section containing maps from different clients that have submitted solutions that they've been working on over the time. So when you read, you can also learn from it and try to replicate the same in your own industry. Okay, so having said so much about the newsletter, here is how you can have access to it. And first of all, the good news is it is free, so you're not paying for it. We're giving it out for free. All you need to do is to go to sunburstgeospatial.com. You go to newsletter section. You scroll to download newsletter section. You go to subscribe and make sure you subscribe so you can be the first to get notification when we're having our next production. And then you click on download maiden edition. It is totally free for everyone. And then for you being in this program, it's, you're lucky to be one of the first people to read our newsletter. And in case you're wondering, when did the opening go out and we didn't even get to know, wanted to be a part of this production, it is not late for you. You can be part of the next one coming up. All you need to do is to send us your mail. I think we're going to drop an email address. You can send us a mail that you want to be interested, you want to be a part of this, want to submit a solution for our next publication. So you can do that and be a part of this. And thank you very much, everyone. So this is pretty much about what our newsletter is about. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Sunburst Geospatial newsletter is officially launched. And then go ahead and read and enjoy everything and give us your feedback as well. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Precious, for that official launch. I'm sure a lot of people are excited, both those that contributed to it, so they can see what they featured in it, and we're also excited for all of you to read what we put together for you as well. Finally, we've come to the end of our seminar and also come to the end of our GIS week-long celebrations. Thank you to everybody who has attended, who has been with us all through the week. We appreciate your presence and your engagement. Sunburst Geospatial Limited thanks you. Till we meet again, everybody have a wonderful day ahead. Happy GIS week and goodbye.